Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Birdie Golf Club podcast. You join me this week with a guest that, to be honest, has become sort of myth and legend of the podcast. Um, Somebody that I talk about a lot, just because I've known this person for an incredibly long period of time. I was working it out today. We're talking at this point 14, 15 years. And we're incredibly good mates, incredibly good mates. I gave him away at his wedding, um, and and he has what many people would describe as just define the laws of everything to do with golf, sort of swing. And I want to introduce you all to this person, ladies and gentlemen, my friend Phil Brown. Hello,
Thank
Phil.
you.
Welcome
Thank
to the
you.
podcast. Speak. I'll tell you when to speak. All right. Go ahead. You can go.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Have I got to call you Dave and David all throughout this, yeah?
You can. Yeah. You can do what you like. Do
Okay.
what you like.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here. I've followed your podcast from day one and learnt many things along the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, I believe you. That sounded like it was very scripted. Like I told you to say that, but I promise I hadn't. Phil is one of the biggest fans of the podcast. And that's going to be evident in his knowledge that he's going to remember because that's one of Phil's special talents is remembering things. But Phil, give everyone a brief rundown of your golfing journey, which has led you to this point where golf is one of the biggest parts of your life. Where did it all start for you?
Yeah, so I dabbled from my early teens, I'd say. Me and my brother used to play um, intermittently in our early to mid-teens at the local course. Um, we never had lessons. I don't remember my dad coming with us. I think it was just me and Will. And after that, it was very sporadic over the years. So the odd random game, and then as I got older, like a lads thing or a stag thing, something like that. Um, so I'd go a year or two without playing probably, and then in my 30s, I busted my knees playing football and
Mm.
eventually gave up football for good, probably mid 30s, and started just playing golf. So I'd say, is it been what, 3, 4 years?
Yeah, I'd say what 2022 was probably the
Yeah,
year where we both sort of decided to play some pretty consistent golf, as in like regular, not
yeah.
consistent as in the game was consistent, but
Yeah, no, yeah. So I'd say about the last 3 years, I've fully thrown myself at it,
mm,
and yeah, it's become the love of my life.
yeah, absolutely. And what sort of handicap are you playing at the moment? Obviously, I know, but
So I had the honour and privilege of being at the inaugural Rodway. Yeah, that's it, Rodway um, tournament, and I was down as a 15, which I'd say is probably right. I think I play 15, meaning I'm usually shooting in my late 80s at most courses.
yeah, because you went through a time when you were shooting pretty regularly in the low 80s, I would say, like when you were playing like your best golf. You had a streak of playing your best golf, but you're probably playing a lot more as well at that point.
Yeah,
And then, like everyone, different commitments and everything like that happen, and you now probably are playing what every sort of four, week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that, pretty
yeah,
much schedule
yeah.
wise.
Especially in summer, I'd like to have a game on the horizon every other week.
Okay. Yeah.
Is realistic for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've actually got something to play for you, which I want us to dive into, if that's okay. So I'm just going to move my microphone, Phil, because this is something that I think we need to address. Because anyone who listened from the early days of the podcast will know this. Um, okay, here we go. Just give me a nod that you can definitely hear this. Okay. Everyone swings it completely different. So to have someone who can tweak your own personal swing
makes such a difference, no matter what your ability is. Yeah. Well, everyone's physical makeup's completely different. Like, yeah, I think in our friendship group, you literally have got the most diverse selection of swings. Yeah, shout out Phil for that. Yeah, yeah. How did you describe it again? I've already apologised for how I described it. I can remember. The worst swing in golf. No, I can't have been that cruel to him. Surely not. I'm sure I said hello first. Yeah. Before you'd even swung a golf club, which was the whole thing. I don't mean it, Phil. I promise. But talking of him, he shot a 76.
Yeah. I mean, that was by yourself, so we won't delve into that too much. Um, your thoughts on this, Phil, because I think for all of us golfers, the idea of somebody talking about our swing in such a manner, and I know that sounded like that was me calling it the worst swing in golf there, but I think we're both very aware of what actually was being said. So do you want to address that now? Yeah.
Are we sort of backstage at Jerry Springer or something? This is
Yeah, yeah.
it's a
It's
horrible
because
expose. So, in Chris's defence, which I didn't think I would come to,
it's an interesting
given how
start.
spiteful he was, yeah, when I see recordings of me swinging a golf club, it's horrible to look at. W when I'm doing it, it feels normal to me, but when people have captured it on camera, it's not conventional. You will never see anything like it on a DP World Tour event or a Masters or anything like that. So probably a bit harsh, worst swing ever.
Mm, mm,
Um, but there is some truth to it. However, it does get the job done. I have recorded some lovely scores in my time. Um, so I think I'm testimony to the fact that there's more than one way to swing a club.
yeah. And there's more than one way to skin a cat as well.
Yeah. I think you've described me as a very feels based
Yeah,
person.
you're somebody who sort of if it was a kid that you were first looking at and you were sort of no, I don't mean that. I don't mean that. It's not like you're learning how to walk via the golf swing. I mean, if it was a kid doing that, you would eventually look at that kid and say, well, okay, there's going to come a point where we're going to maybe tweak that because for your long-term game, I'm not sure it's where you want to be. But I'm a firm believer that, basically, I know you played a little bit with your brother and things like that growing up, but generally taking golf more seriously and the principles of the game and how to compress the ball and everything like that didn't really happen until your mid 30s. So it's very difficult if you haven't had the fundamentals at an early age to then learn those later on in life, especially if you develop a technique that works for you. And that's basically what you've done. And no, it's all playing really. I mean, Chris did say that when he first met you, um, which was a lot. It was a lot, and it was just before we were about to go out for 18 holes as well, as a large group. So testimony to you to actually go out and play some pretty decent golf still that day. But your swing is basically like it is everything opposite to what you'd want to teach someone to do. Sorry, this wasn't meant to be. You've sort of asked me the question. This was meant to be a you having a go at Chris now, right? This is where this was going to be. This was going to be, I was going to clip it up. You know, Worst swinging golf gets his own back on five handicapper. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what it was going to be. But now you're asking me. So you basically, through impact, will have your weight on your back foot, which is incredibly impressive that you're able to get that ball pretty consistently airborne. You've learnt hybrids are pretty much the way when it comes to your longer irons because of easier strike and everything like that as well, which works great for you. So whatever, like basically, I predict that you're gonna shoot some pretty lowish scores for our handicap anyway this summer. and break 80 again at some point, just because with a putter in your hand, which that clip did go on to say, with a putter in your hand, you are pretty lethal. Would you say that's one of your strengths, right?
Yeah, yeah, my patterns always come quite easy to me. I think my average, I looked on my golf pad across the last 50 rounds, whatever, I think I'm sub two.
Hmm.
Um, which yeah, so I wouldn't say I'm exceptional, but I'm 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 solid with the putter.
Yeah.
I think the same halfway hug guy said something about a nice putting motion. So, but this is the thing, I'm very n not self-aware of what I'm doing with a golf club in my hand.
Hmm.
When people highlight to me that all my weight's on my back foot, I don't know that that's what's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I'm just a classic example of the the body just doing things to make the best of a horrible situation it's found itself in.
It's the body basically just trying to escape this nightmare maze that it's been
This is
put in
it.
on a golf course.
Yeah, 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 and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's the best game in the world. Obviously, you and I spent much of our friendship playing football together, which
Mm,
is such a different environment,
yeah,
and brings out very different sets of emotions in many ways. You feel more like you're going into battle, don't you, when you play football?
yeah.
Golf has become my absolute, and you talk about this quite a lot with a number of your guests. For me, it's not an escape. It's where I process everything because I
Hmm.
will play quite a lot of golf on my own. I know you don't. You almost always play golf with people, which is great.
Yeah,
I will play. I'd say I'm 50-50. 50% of the time I'll play with people, 50% of the time I'll play by myself. Um,
yeah.
and I love both. If it's the right person I'm with, wonderful, which I'm usually quite selective about who I'll play with because it's precious time, isn't it?
Mm.
Um, it's a good opportunity to be with a mate. Or, like I say, I'm quite happy in my own company, and it just helps me just deal with everything that's going on in life. Not all even bad stuff, but it's just my time.
Yeah, yeah. I think you find yourself more in the situation of like mainly because you set yourself up for it, where you can have like clubs in the back of the van, like ready to go.
Yeah.
I just always forget to do that generally. So, and I think golf for me is more of like an event. Like that's how my mind works on it. It just has to be an event, which is really pathetic and childish, actually. Um,
Don't be so harsh on yourself. For me, it's like my therapy.
mm, yeah, it's a good way of looking at it. I think a lot of people, and I think a lot of people as well, will have somebody in their group that would be relatable to you as well, in the sense that they have an unorthodox approach to the game, maybe, an approach to the swing and stuff, but yet get the job done like 9 times out of 10. And I know you're also looking quite a bit into we'll get on to sort of more sort of silly stuff, but I thought you'd probably like to talk about the psychology part of the game as well. That you've
Mm.
been looking into a bit of Bob Rotella, right?
Yes, I was looking for a book to read on the last holiday I went on and wandered into a bookstore and went to the sports stuff. Had never heard of Bob Rotella. And just there was a bunch of golf autobiographies and stuff about Tiger Woods and stuff. And then I spotted this one, Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. I think that's the title of it, isn't it?
Hmm.
And yeah, just picked it up, started thumbing through it. I love psychology. I've never sort of studied it at school or college or anything like that, but I think we're all fascinated by the human mind. So it sort of mixed two things that I think are very intriguing,
Yeah.
golf and thought processes. So I picked it up and I've read it through a couple of times now. It's
Right.
brilliant. Um, yeah, I think because you highlighted to me that I'm a sort of an emotion slash feel based golfer rather than when I've played with you, you're so aware of like what your hips are doing and what your
It's too
feet
much.
are doing and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, and I can't compute any of that.
Mm.
So this is great because he doesn't talk about any of that in this book. He talks purely about the psychology and the mentality. And I'd imagine his book's been quite popular since he helped McIlroy get the slam or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So maybe some of your listeners have read it as well. It's not a huge book. It's quite a brief read, really. And then he's got a couple of pages at the back where he basically just bullet points. I don't know, the 20 or so main things to take away from it. I'm really hoping I can remember a few of them.
I'll give you a moment. I'll give you a
Yeah, is that
moment
all
to
right?
remember them.
I'm
Yeah,
just gonna go and grab the book.
yeah. I'll give you a moment to go and find it. And no, I mean, from what you were saying, I agree completely. You are a feels-based player, feel by name, feels by nature, and you. It's a real gift to do that on a golf course. And it's something that I've been working like you said, I get very in my own head sometimes. And because I'm aware of different parts of my swing and certain things, I almost sometimes play golf swing. And that's something that I think every golfer in the world can move away from once they get out on a course. Like the range is the time for that, and the winter is the time for that. Being in a golf simulator is time for golf swing work. When you get on a course, you're just trying to get that ball in that hole in as little amount of shots as possible. And I think implementing some of the ideas that you were sharing with me, I haven't read the book, but I'm aware of Bob Rotella, obviously, and his work and his basically getting your mind right. I think one of the big things that Rory said, especially after the Masters and before it as well, was that he wanted to come away from the golf course with a feeling. So it didn't matter what score he'd shot. He's an incredible golfer. So he wanted to just come away with a feeling from the golf course that day. And if he could come down and after that day, and if he's having dinner that night and go, yeah, I felt great today. Score was, who cares? Like, he's Rory McIlroy. He's going to shoot 63s, 64s, and he's also going to shoot 75s. But it's just the case of how good did I feel when I left that course today. And I honestly say that when I shot the 78 the other week, and it was a big moment for me. I don't remember much of that round. And that's mainly because all I was doing when I was over the golf ball was blanking out. I was just staring at a spot on the golf ball and letting my body do the work. If you've done enough repetitions, right, you you should be able to repeat it under pressure. And if I'd have been thinking about, oh, what's my hip doing here and what's that doing there? So it's a big thanks to you, really, Phil.
Well, I can't take all the credit.
No, just do
Because
it.
likewise, I've liked Vic. I think you pushed me into choosing a player that I like when I
Mm.
first started getting into golf, and
I
I,
hate your lack of commitment sometimes. So
of course, of course,
I force you into player choices.
yeah. So I sort of honed in on Victor Hovland because I think he, at the time,
Mm.
a few years back, was quite up and coming, wasn't he? And it was fascinating to hear him because obviously he did really well. Then he sort of has struggled for a little while
Hmm.
because he's got super technical, hasn't he, with things. And
Try to
he,
change things, yeah.
yeah, and I heard him saying recently that he's basically trying to get back to when he was enjoying his golf more, and he's
Yep.
sort of trying to lose the obsession with these details and more about the feelings because, as you just said, all these players they are all capable of performing the high quality shots. All that really separates them is the mentality, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think for my level, I'm not obviously looking to win anything or anything like that, but I want to enjoy the golf.
Yeah.
And like you said, that ability to sort of almost blank out when you're playing well,
Hmm.
I think that's what helps me when I'm playing on my own. I'll often not remember the round that I just played very well,
Hmm.
and that, oh, sorry, that I just played. Hopefully, I played it quite well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but that is it's like cathartic. It's just
Hmm.
sort of by not thinking too much about what I'm doing. I feel like it helps me almost just zone out. I think I'm that way inclined with a lot of things. It does lend
Yeah.
itself to it.
Yeah. I wouldn't say you're Mr. Focus.
No,
You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't. I don't think the words steely focus have ever been said.
no. No. That's fine. But you've helped me see that that is possibly a strength when it comes to golf.
It is. It really is. I think there's maybe. I think there's a balance, isn't there, with it?
Of course.
And I think you're aware of that as well. Like, I think you would like to go to a range and sort of be a little bit more aware of what's causing what to happen. Like, I know you said that, like you like to have that ability, but at the same time, then you probably lose some of the stuff which makes golf enjoyable for you
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah.
day.
I think some of the simplest things that have helped him improve my game aren't really to do with the swing. For instance, you really helped me out with the is it crushing a grapefruit or something with your for me
Peach,
a peach.
peach.
There you go. I've
It's
been
all about the
crushing the wrong
details,
fruit this whole time.
Mr. Details. You've
There you
been
go.
really, really crushing that
Just
that left foot.
crush something with your foot. And also, I've adopted since Rodway is the focusing on a dimple on the ball.
Mm,
And so I was at the
quiet
range.
eye.
Yeah, that's quiet eye. That's the one. I was
Quiet eye.
quiet eye. I was at the range earlier today. I'd hoped to play. There wasn't going to be time, so I just went to a range that's got a track man,
Hmm.
and I suddenly remembered that, and it makes such a big difference to help you just really focus and zone out of all the
Yeah.
noise around you, and just pick a dimple on the ball. It's quite yeah, it can get quite obsessive with it. It's funny. You sort of go into a funny little
Yeah.
headspace.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And I would shout out the podcast again that I got that tip from, but there's been no reciprocal love. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to
Yeah.
just stop until there's reciprocal love again. And then by all means, I'll do it.
Didn't you
I'm not
even
being
have?
petty about it.
No,
I don't
no.
care. Do you know what I mean? I
Didn't,
don't care.
didn't you even have one of the co-hosts on your podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I had one. Yeah.
Okay.
The interesting one. Um, but that's, I'm not the judge.
No.
But yeah, yeah, that quiet eye idea, which is a fantastic point. I think it was Lee Crumbleholm, who's a sort of pretty renowned golf psychologist, made that point because basically there's science behind it. I know I've maybe said on the podcast before, but I'll say it again. There's science behind it is the idea that we think our eyes are doing this to a point, right? But they're not. Like they've proven that you'll have one eye, whichever your stronger eye is, will generally be staring at the target that you're looking at, but your other eye will be wandering. And that's because you've got no focus. But if you actually zone in on a very small target, your eyes will be closer together with what they're actually looking at. And at the end of the day, I think we think so much about target being out there. We're like, oh, middle of the green, or I've got this tree branch I need to avoid. You'll be staring at that so much. Guess what? None of that matters unless you hit target that's right in front of you. When you break it down to golf is actually a stationary sport in many ways. You know, it's a free kick over and over again. And free kick, you're not generally looking up and staring at the goal whilst you're hitting the ball. You're making sure you make good contact with the ball. And especially with the fact that we're using something which isn't technically part of our body in a golf club, then you have to make sure that you stare at the ball. And I mean, talking of golf club, just very briefly, Phil, I think it would be a great chance to just talk about the sponsor of this episode, if you don't mind.
Oh, please.
The sponsor of this episode is Birdie Golf Designs, just right there, Birdie Golf Designs. Now, Birdie Golf Designs. Why don't you ask me, Phil? What do Birdie Golf Designs do, maybe?
What do Dub, what do birdie golf designs do?
Oh, thanks for asking, Phil. Birdie Golf Designs create some incredible bladed irons. They do some different irons as well, but my favorite collections of theirs are their bladed irons, just traditional feel. And maybe you could ask, how much would sort of something like this set me back?
Um, Doug, David, how I mean that's got to be thousands, isn't it? Millions.
I mean, you'd be right by looking at this, Phil, to think this has been forged in just incredible detail, and it has. But you know what? This is incredibly affordable as well, and available direct to your door.
Really?
This, well, a set like this right now is on sale for around just over $300 for a set like this.
That's insane. I bought a half set of second-hand clubs for that much.
Well, you know what, Phil? You've been an idiot there. Sorry, no, you didn't. You didn't know about birdie golf clubs, but look, they may not have been around by the time you use the word. But look, beautiful, beautiful golf club. That for me performed incredibly well. I broke 80 using it. You can get incredible sort of customer. What would it be called? Customer care, I would say. So you can make sure you reach out to Nick. He'll answer any questions you have. The guys building your irons are the guys that care, and that's incredibly important. So make sure to head over to Birdie Golf Designs, use code podcast25 for 10% off your order. Now we head back to the episode. Thanks, Phil, for asking those unprompted questions. I really do appreciate it.
They were burning. They were burning away. Yeah.
So what what's your sort of targets for the summer when it comes to golf? Now, this could be score related. It could just be feeling related. It could be a golf course you want to play. It could be an amount of golf you want to play. Let me know. What is it?
Yeah. So I have got a new driver after listening to this podcast, not this episode, but a previous one.
Mm,
I was um I'm trying to think what the word is. Convinced by, is it Lance Reader?
it is Lance Reader, yeah.
I
The
was
incredibly
convinced by
impressive
Lance
Lance
Reader
Reader.
to give Crank a go, and yeah, I've found it brilliant. So, what one am I using, David? You sourced it for me.
Yeah, you are using the original Crank Fire Pro.
Okay,
That is what you've got. You've got an extra stiff shaft in there, standard length, mid-size grip.
okay. I used it at Rodway successfully.
Yep.
I was driving around the 300 mark consistently.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I love it. It's given me my confidence back with my driver. So I want to work with that now, never sort of have it out of the bag. I know that
Yeah.
I'm not going to use it every single drivable hole, but
hmm
I don't want to be scared of my driver again. And I feel this crank has, yeah, made me feel like it's a weapon in my hands to be used.
Yeah, I think it's one of those clubs that, like you said, it reaffirms that you know what driver is the play quite a lot, and
Yeah,
that can be sometimes tough. I think one of the big things with Crank that I enjoy is the fact that they don't release a driver unless they actually need to. I really detest this yearly cycle of drivers. We can quite clearly see that the QI35 is not as good as what the QI10 was. Scotty Scheffler won this weekend. We need to talk about Scotty Scheffler, by the way. But Scotty Scheffler won this weekend using the QI10. So
okay.
using last year's driver again, doesn't want to put the QI35 in the bag. QI35 in early testing quite clearly span too much, um, which just isn't ideal for these golfers. They know the windows where they want it to hit in, and the QI10 delivered on that for them. Great thing about Crank is that I think the Fire has been around for 3 years, and they've only just released another head for it, which is just 5% smaller and with just slightly better tech in it. They're not reinventing the wheel with it. It's just this is a better iteration of what was there. So yeah, your driving was well, you were actually hitting driver, right? That's like the main thing.
Yeah, before that, I'd left driver out of my bag for quite a few rounds because I was just very uncomfortable with what I was using, and
Yeah.
it just seemed stupid to have it in the bag.
hmm
But now, yeah, Crank sits there proudly.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely club. So I want to just, yeah, get more and more confident with that, learn it a bit more. I would like you've mentioned about a mini driver, and a little bit of me thinks that that might be a bit of me because I like those sort of hybrid heads and
Yeah.
small
I have
woods
a,
and things.
I have a feeling I've just got this sense that I mean Mini Driver's basically what was a two wood,
Okay.
essentially. Two woods were popular a while ago. But I just for the amateur golfer, and I think the pros obviously are chucking it in the bag. I mean, Tommy Fleetwood's got one in the bag permanently. Some interchange them in the bag depending on what course they're playing with other golf clubs. But I feel like for an amateur golfer, the mini driver is a real weapon because generally smaller face, smaller miss. I know there is some people that disagree with that. I just think it's true. I don't see how it can't be true. Um, because the driver, as lovely and big as that face is, when you're hitting it off the heel or hitting off the toe, your side spin goes way up. So then on tighter holes and stuff like that, you're going to find the woods more often. But with a mini driver, you're sort of getting the best of both worlds because I think they generally come in like either 13 degrees or 11 degrees of loft. So, low enough lofted for most of us to get the ball out there. And you're not going to see a huge drop off in distance either. I just have a feeling over the next 2 or 3 years, if we keep seeing the likes of, Crank, you've seen Tailor Made keep on doing these retro clubs. Um, I just feel like the mini driver is going to be a bit of a weapon for the amateur golfer as time moves on.
Yeah, I hope to get an opportunity to try one. I'm not sure when that'll happen, probably through you. So yeah, that'd be good. So yeah, get real comfortable with my crank driver. So far, so good with that. I feel that I should like, I'm trying to think if I've gone over 100, a shot around over 100 in a very long time. I feel like I'm safely, like,
Yeah.
I'd say 90 is a bad round for me these days.
Yeah.
So I would like to be consistently mid 80s.
Hmm.
Um, so what do I need to work on my game? I need to be more comfortable 120 and in.
Yeah.
So I use a horrible little hybrid chipper, don't I, when I'm sort of
I'm not
20
saying.
yards and in.
I'm not saying anything.
It's not a popular look, but I'm quite effective with it, with a little bump and run around the green.
Yep.
But of course, because that's not lifting the ball up very much, I can't use it when I'm behind a bunker or various other lies.
Yep.
And I've sort of neglected, not sort of, I have neglected my short game with my wedges, the traditional
Yeah.
stuff. So I really need to concentrate on that.
Hmm.
Again, it's a case of not being scared of certain clubs or certain shots.
Yeah.
Turn those weaknesses into strengths type of thing, just feel like, no, this is the club and the shot I need to play now. I can do this.
Turning
Um,
those watch outs into watch this instead.
watch out and to watch this. Yeah, I like that. Um, yeah. Other than that, I mean, I absolutely love golf. So just playing, I feel like I play regularly enough. I cannot complain on that front.
Yeah.
Um, and just, yeah, enjoying when I'm with people, enjoying that.
Yeah.
Remembering to take, it might sound weird, but remembering to take a photo of you and your mate on the
Mm.
golf course or something before, during, or after to look back those sort of lovely memories with friends and things. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I wouldn't say I've got massive aspirations, but just to keep enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's the target for all of us. It looks like we're going to have a decent summer of weather as well, which helps, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's been pretty good so far, but um, that helps massively. I think just go out there and play different golf courses is one of my targets this summer.
Yeah.
I mean, through this podcast, it's sort of opened some doors, which is really exciting. Um, and yeah, just play some different golf courses, take some friends along for the ride, and just enjoy it, you know?
I'm playing around with one of your previous guests, Mr. James Clare. Shout out to him
Yeah, yeah,
at
the esteemed
Farley,
James Clare.
at Farley Golf Course, which I'm very much looking forward to soon. And he is a guy who really helped me with my putting, actually, James,
Yeah,
because he loves, everything golf related, and he's very good for me, because he's a great teacher, isn't he, James?
yeah,
And what I mean by that is he'll talk as technically as you want, but he can
yes,
also strip it back to the bare bones for someone like me who can't cope with too much detail.
yeah,
So he massively helped with my putting, which has gone on to become probably the strongest part of my game, I suppose.
yeah,
And the big thing for me, was that whole thing he was talking about on his chat with you, to do with, looking at the hole for a
yeah,
prolonged period of time, take your eyes back and just get on with it.
yeah,
Not sort of the not overthinking thing, and that's he talked to me about that a few years ago, and it made a huge difference to me.
yeah. When I had him on and he said about that, just really hit home for me because I had no real consistent routine over putting. It was just okay. I know I need to ideally two putt in this situation, but if you go in with those thoughts, um, it's not really the best mindset to go in with. So just having that thing of staring down the hole. I mean, we were playing around once, weren't we?
I have
And
eyes.
oh, because my putting, I think we played 9 holes before, and my putting, I mean, to be fair, my van had basically like blown up on the way to the course, which really took my mind out of the whole thing. Then my putting was just awful, like so bad. I think I through 9 holes had something like I wouldn't be surprised if it was like close to 25, 26 putts, probably through those 9 holes. And I just remember like looking at you and just going, I have eyes, I have hands. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna put this in the hole. And I didn't even, I don't think I had no practice. What's the name? I just stepped up to the ball, stared at the hole, and put it in. But then I didn't remember any of those things afterwards. And then it wasn't until James came on, I was like, yeah, that really resonates. I have eyes.
Deja vu.
I
Um,
have eyes, James.
the other brilliant thing you did one round, which I think you've gone back to doing, but in a slightly watered down version, was
Yeah.
naming your shots.
Yeah, it's a tough look when you start sort of giving them like names like they're a ride at Thorpe Park.
I think I remember Thor's hammer was one of your shots.
Doesn't make
God.
sense. What does that mean? What is Thor's
I
hammer?
don't know, but it worked, mate. You were sending that.
Yeah, so I think for all golfers, like visualizing your shot comes in like different ways to different people. I'm a little bit of a
Avengers movie.
yeah, which is yeah. I mean, I'm just a little bit of like a I like to sh I like to be able to try and show off in some way, I think, and the bit of the dramatics to it. You know, I
No
mean,
way.
no way, not you. Um, so you know, it's a self-reflection podcast, but so doing that with saying like literally saying to your playing partner, I'm going to do this. Um, just in my mind, people are different. Obviously, some people are a bit more sort of introvert, extrovert, whatever you may be. But in my mind, if I state to somebody what I'm going to do with this shot, where it's going to start, where it's going to finish, and what kind of height I want it, what window I want it, everything, like, I try and go to much detail as I possibly can. It just works better for me. And then if I hit a bad shot, I hit a bad shot, but at least I've committed to that. Um, so I've just tried to water it down a little bit because it is super annoying otherwise to be like, you know, I call this one the low slinger, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, that's just too much for people to deal with, but it does help. I would say it's worth trying. You know, not for everybody, but it's worth trying at least just stating what you're going to do before hitting the shot, depending on your ability in the game, obviously, as well. Like, you know, if you're a 35 handicap, you're not going to start naming your shots. But if you've played golf for a decent amount of time, I think you can probably know how to hit certain shots. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, I think that that's Bob, our friend Bob talks about that as well. The
Bobby.
visualizing the shot before you do it.
Yeah,
Um, it's so vital to reduce nerves over the ball. Rather than what's going to go wrong, you just remind
yeah. Don't
yourself,
think negatives.
no.
You can't
And
think negatives over a ball.
that is a battle. That is a battle
Yeah,
that
of
you have
course
to
it is.
have in your head
You
because
might have your previous one that left you in the trees in your mind,
yeah,
you know, and that's hard to forget. It's one of those sports that you can go, what, 10 minutes between hitting a ball, maybe longer if you've got a slow group in front of you.
yeah.
So just yeah, it's a mental battle out there. And we briefly touched on him, but did you see what happened at the memorial this weekend?
So I did just read the highlights thing about it on a news page. Did Scotty won by 4 shots? Is that right?
Yeah, shocking breaking news. Scotty Scheffler won another tournament.
And is that 3 out of the last 4 he's been in or something?
Yeah, yeah, because he won the CJ Cup, he won the PGA, and now he's won the Memorial. And I think I had Rowan Mia on last week, who I consistently pronounce his name as Rohan Meyer. So very sorry, Rowan. There is a H in there, so it is slightly confusing, but I should have asked. Um, but he made an excellent point that he plays on the Clutch Pro Tour and he's wanting to shoot, you know, naturally you want to go out there and shoot low scores. He's like, when you see that the leader's on 8 under after the first day, you're like, I need to go out there and put a big round in. He's like, the thing that's so impressive about Scotty is, even though he may not be leading the tournament after 18 or 36 holes, he's always still in it. And he can be in it by shooting 2 rounds of 70. And I mean, that's exactly what he done this weekend. He shot 3 rounds of 70, which was 2 under, and 1 round of 68, one in the
And
tournament.
that was
By
enough.
four shots, I think he won the tournament by. And it shows that you don't need to race to it. And that's what Scotty's so good at. It's just he plods around the golf course like it's nothing, just shooting 70, but doesn't seem stressed. Goes, yeah, good day today. Didn't have my best stuff. Fine. Middle of greens, misses where he needs to miss. And there was a shot yesterday. I think it was on 17, and he hit this. perfect miss. Like it clearly wasn't exactly as he wanted it to go, but it aimed in such a way that all the danger was on the left. All the danger was on the left. And he just hit this high fade, short of the green, on a par five, and just no trouble whatsoever. Like the one of the easiest chips left on the golf course in, and just knocked it to 3 foot, knocked it in. You know, I've forgotten the name of the guy who wears the aviators, who won just before the PGA. I've forgotten his name now. It might come to me later, but um, he's got a thing, by the way. He can see little floaters in his eyes,
Ah, I've
and
heard
that's
of
why
that.
he wears the sunglasses. Because it's very unusual to see a golfer who walks around the golf course all the time with like sunglasses on, especially in putting. But he's got like slightly detached retinas, and I looked that up. That's crazy. Have you ever seen what it looks like to have floaters in your
Is
eyes?
it worse than pink eye?
It's worse than yeah. I know you. You're a sufferer with the pink eye, and it's worse. It's so bad. Honestly, it's like these little. So there's some. I, I got fooled by a few images that were on Google Images about it, where people had basically just used their phone to like draw little things, like little squiggly lines. But then I saw like an actual depiction, and you either have sort of the black ones that you see, which is when you're wearing sunglasses, or when you're not wearing sunglasses. It looks like, like in a microscope, when you sort of like stare at something, it looks like what you see, the little bacteria that you like see.
Yeah.
So you basically constantly see that whilst trying to play like PGA Tour level golf. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
What's his name? Why is his name debate? I'm going to find out his name. 1 second.
Yeah, that's got to be when you're trying to focus on the dimple on the ball and you've got bacteria
It's
everywhere.
insane. It's like I don't need this. And the thing the thing with him is really interesting. He was a finance guy. Ben Griffin. I forget his name. Ben Griffin, who won on tour the previous week. I've forgotten before the PGA. So he's won twice on tour this year. He won the Zurich, and he also won another event that I can't remember. Charles Schwab. That's it. He won the Charles Schwab, and yeah, and he sees little flow. But he was a finance guy, and he basically um was a golfer when he was younger. Was really good. Didn't think he was necessarily good enough to go full-time pro. So got into finance and then basically sort of made decent money on finance, obviously, selling mortgages and everything like that. Probably caused the 2008 crash. No, he and then he basically yeah, just took back up golf again on friends' advice, and now he's playing PGA Tour golf and has just basically booked himself a tour card for what? How long do you get a tour card for? I don't know, like 3 years or something if you win a tournament.
Wow.
So unbelievable. And he's playing the golf of his life. He sort of fell away a little bit. He was in the last two with Scotty. But yeah, I thought that was crazy when I saw the little things. But Scotty Scheffler
Is
just
that operation?
unbelievable.
Can you have an operation on that, or is it you just live with it now?
So he had an operation on his eyesight to help his eyesight, but apparently there's not much they can do.
Wow.
How do you reattach a retina? It's right at the back. I mean, I don't know how you'd even do that.
That's the sort of thing they normally associate with boxers and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. He basically needs a Minority Report to sort of happen, and he can just get new eyes. But then he
Yeah.
won't wear the sunglasses all the time.
It's a difficult one.
It is a good look, you know. The
Double
grip.
jeopardy.
He needs a nickname though, like the Griffinator, because of the sunglasses, like the Terminator.
Griffer, Gr- Maverick,
Go
Maverick,
on.
Maverick. Nah, so I can't do it.
No,
No,
no. I think Griffinator was probably the best one. You should have left it, but you didn't,
yeah,
and
I've left
that's
it.
where we are now. I saw this thing the other day, which I thought would interest you. Um, it was really funny, and it was a Reddit thread on hypotheticals, so hypothetical situations. Um, Here you go. I'm going to give you the first one. No, wait. That's not that one. Uh, okay. Wait. I've got one. Uh, Okay, let me go for this one first. It's a bit of a weak one, but we're going to start it and then I'll find another one. You're offered £10,000 for every lightning strike that hits you, but you become immortal and can regenerate. Okay, so you're not going to die from this. Okay, you're just going to get hit by lightning, which probably hurts. The only physical damage heals, and you can still get psychological trauma from it. So that means every time there's a storm, you're going to have psychological sort of issues with it. You can choose when to take this challenge. So you could do it in the woods or a desert. Would you? Would you do that? It's quite a lot to process.
So £10,000 every time I get hit by lightning.
Yes. And you can't get physically damaged from it. That all heals. So you do
Okay.
get the physical damage. So you'll get like, have you seen those people that have like those, like it looks like crazy like tree roots going down them? Or have I
No.
been fooled by AI? I might have been fooled by
Is that Lord of the Rings?
AI. Yeah.
So sorry, is this a yes or a no? What am I?
So would you do it? So you get £10,000 every single time you get hit by lightning, but you would have no physical damage long term, but would you deal with the psychological trauma from it? And you can choose where you live as well.
Yes. Yeah, I would take that one, and I would live.
Really?
I would live.
Not all about money, Phil.
Well, just a little bit. A little bit would help. Just enough to get a membership somewhere would be nice.
Okay, right. Next one.
I just want
Um,
to get some birdie design blades. That's all. That's all I want
yeah,
to
yeah. Thanks to the sponsor for this episode, Birdie Golf
do.
Designs. Okay, you have 30 days to eat your body weight of one food. What food do you pick? So what do you weigh?
93
30,
kilos.
oh, 93 kilos.
I weighed myself the other day.
Okay. What's that in pounds? Not that it makes any difference.
What was that like 14.7 or something? I
That's
don't know what it
stone.
is
That's
in
stone.
stone. Yeah, sorry, mate. I don't know what pounds.
Pounds is like you're over £200, right? Yeah. So you have 30 days to eat. Let's say two. I have a feeling that's like 220, but I may be way off. £220. All right, let's just
Of
take a stab at it.
of something in 30 days.
Yes.
Probably pizza.
How much does a pizza weigh? Pizza? What type of pizza?
I'm not hugely fussy. Just it's got to be nice. It's got to be wood-fired oven, stone baked, whatever it's called. Thin and
I'm not
crispy.
particularly fussy, but it has to be wood-fired oven stone baked pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait. Okay, a, a, a meat-loaded pizza. Let's say we go for that. Could be about £4,
Okay.
right? And you're
You're saying
say
I'm 220.
220, 230.
Okay.
Okay, and you've got to have this in 30 days. So £4 pizza. You're having like six, probably close to 60 pizzas in 30 days.
Yeah,
It's not
two a
actually that
day.
bad, is it?
I could do two a day
That's a
then.
rubbish one. Two a day. Although, would that get
Oh yeah, it'd
quite
be
sickly,
horrible.
wouldn't it?
Do I get any money for that
You
one?
don't. No, they didn't even give any incentive. So
Okay.
why would you do that to yourself, Phil?
Although exponentially, do you get heavier as you eat more pizzas?
Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
I guess so. Right, one sec. Here we go. There were some really good ones, and they've sort of been added to. This is a thread on Reddit called hypothetical questions. Um, there we go. Okay, so you get £10 million, right? But every time you step on a crack, you lose 1 minute of your lifespan. Would you do it? See, you know what? This is a multifaceted question that takes us beyond the game of golf. and onto more serious questions. Because essentially, there you're saying that money outweighs life.
You lose a minute of your life.
Every time you step on a crack,
Yeah, I think I'd turn the money down.
that'd be a lot. That'd be so. Oh, can you imagine how stressful that would be? I mean, we're both window cleaners. Can you imagine how stressful?
Yeah, but if you had 10 million quid, would you still be a window cleaner?
Good point. No, but okay, say, okay, right. Okay, so if you had 10 million quid and you were no longer winter clean, you decide to hang up your gear and you build a house and you try and avoid cracks. So would you put down that sort of like, that flooring which looks like cement that's just all one?
Yeah.
Imagine if you were an absolute crazy person, you decided to put down like mosaic flooring just to be a weirdo about the whole situation. That'd be crazy. I'm gonna give you one more.
Please do.
I was really enjoying these. Um, I should have probably looked up and actually picked out a few beforehand just to avoid the in between, but we're here now. Um, okay, one sec.
And then I've got a couple of questions for you.
Oh, exciting. Uh, these are all political rubbish. Let's have a look. Oh, this is a great one. Okay, you're offered a button, so you get a button. Okay,
Hmm.
every time you press it, you get £10,000 instantly. But someone you've met once stubs their toe extremely hard every time you press it. How many times do you press that button?
10 times?
So, so you're going to cause 10 people that you've met once to stub their toe extremely hard. That
And
was a really a
and I
good one.
walk away with £100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite easy.
But what if like the repercussions of that?
Or a
Because
sore toe.
no, but they could be losing toenails.
Yeah.
We're not talking like they stub their toe. That would be a
Okay.
different, extremely hard. They could break their toe, Phil.
But I've only met them once, so I don't really know them.
Wow.
It's pretty horrible, actually, isn't it? The more I think about it,
Wow.
the more cruel that is.
Well, I'm just glad I'm not answering the
Yeah,
question.
10. I'm sticking with 10.
10.
Yeah.
10 people that you've met once.
Mm.
That's quite a unique sort of group of people, really, isn't it? That you only meet once.
I think yeah, actually, I'm thinking of members of your family. I've met them all more than once.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't think I'd remember someone I've met once.
And their toes don't matter, I
The
guess,
toes
is
do
what you're
not matter.
saying.
But here's my questions for
Go
you.
on. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Shiny ball or matte ball, and why?
What, for golf?
Yeah.
When you say shiny,
Yeah, like a traditional glossy finish.
rather than these Volvic sort of. I mean, the way I've phrased that pretty much tells you
Yeah.
exactly where I'm going. Yeah, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to golf generally, like with most things that I do and most things that I have.
And
Um,
why? Because of just the way it looks, or is there any science behind?
Zero. I mean, I don't think there's any science behind it.
No.
Yeah, for me, I don't even particularly like playing with yellow golf balls. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that's just a maybe like a psychological thing of feeling like I need to look the part on the golf course, which probably a lot of people share that feeling. So if I'm playing with something that's a little bit different, a little bit, yeah, yeah, for me, just yeah, give me a TP5, you know.
I think I did.
Yeah, you did, you did. Thank you. And gave me a Pro V1 as well. But yeah, just yeah, I like traditional. How about you? I know you're a little
Um,
bit different. You're a little bit quirky with your golf
yeah,
ball.
I quite like the coloured balls, and with the matte finish, I think it's psychological, but in my head, that grips more, and you can bring more spin into playing things. That's probably not even what I want. And I believe the studies show that it doesn't do that.
Can't do it. No. Don't think that's true. It's not like you go down to B&Q and they're like, oh, these are the matte finishes actually, and you know what? You can coat your golf balls in these, and you're going to get a little bit of extra grip.
So well, the thinking behind it for me is, well, I used to wear Predators, and they used to put the little rubbery grips on the thing, and
Mm,
that allowed the ball to spin more.
don't think it did.
There we
I
go.
think I think that was what would be called a USP, Phil, and a
Mm,
lie of a USP as well. But yeah, I
yeah.
know what you mean. I know what you're saying. I think you gave me, handed me one on the trip, didn't you? And you said like, yeah, look at that. And yeah, because in your hand it feels like it grips to your hand more.
But
You know,
weirdly, in golf, you don't use your hand to hit the ball, do you?
you're going a bit wrong if you start using this thing to hit the ball. But no, it's interesting. It's interesting. You have another one? What was your other one?
Yeah, so well, the other one's not a question. It was, and I've forgotten it. That happens a lot. But it was. I texted a few of our friends and said, I'm going to be on David's podcast,
Birdie
um,
Golf Club podcast for those.
Birdie Golf
Please
Club.
remember to leave a 5-star rating and a review if you're enjoying the podcast, and make sure to follow us on all platforms, including Instagram at Birdie Golf Club Podcast. Carry on, Phil.
Oh, thank you. And I said like, as a pairing, what are me and Dub? And someone came back with the classic big beard, little beard, which I think was a reference to
Mm.
you're the big beard, obviously. Um,
I don't know because maybe you're taller.
well, it wasn't at the size of the beard though, right?
Yeah, but
The one
then
that,
but then but wait, sorry. D- Big cook, little cook. That's not referencing their ability to cook.
okay,
That was referencing their size, wasn't it, at the
sure.
end of the day? Because in my opinion, Little Cook was actually the far better chef in that arrangement.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never,
Big
I've
Cook,
just,
Little Cook. Do
yeah,
you not remember this?
no.
He is Big Cook and he is small.
Oh, okay.
Friends in our cafe, we cook for them all. When your tummy is getting all rumbly, you're ready for a treat. We can make something delicious to eat.
Oh, that's cute. The other one that came back was Darman and Harmon.
Garmin and Hot. What does that mean?
Darman, Darman and Harmon, Joel Darman and Brian Harmon.
Oh, right. Right. Saying I'm 5'4" and
Or
incredibly unlikable.
more that you're a major winner, whereas Darman will never win
Yeah, I don't
anything.
care. No one cares. I actually feel for Brian Harmon when it comes to this as well because he is right. I heard him on a podcast and he's 100% right. Whatever happened to cheering for the underdog? He's 5'4". He may be 4'10". We're not sure. And no one wants him to win anything, despite this. It's the waggle. It's the waggle.
He's left-handed as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
lefty, but it's the waggle.
Yeah, against all odds, he's done very well.
Yeah, but drop the waggle and then people might. It's too much.
Hmm.
They put a waggle counter on him. He had like 27 waggles before hitting the ball. You can't do that.
Would you rather pair in a pro-am? Would you rather pair with him or Cantlay?
Brian Harmon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd deal with the waggles. I'd encourage him. I'd say, you know what, waggle more, mate. You're fine. Yeah, Cantlay.
Oh, and who's the other guy that you aren't a big fan of that pushed a little bit on the last day of the green jacket one?
The other one who I'm not a big fan of that
Yeah, you
pushed.
really don't like
Green
him.
Jacket one's an interesting way
Ma
to refer
the
to the
Masters.
Masters tournament, the
Yeah,
most
that's it.
steeped in tradition and beloved of all golf tournaments,
There
but
was a
also known
guy,
as the Green Jacket one.
Reed. Is it Reed?
Patrick Reed.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what?
Reed or Cantlay?
Reed. Yeah. Yeah, because I think Reed, I think he'd actually be all right to spend time with. He's just, you just don't want him to see, you don't want to see him winning like the Masters when Rory's going for a slam. Like him winning the Masters that year was quite funny because it's just very unlikable. But yeah, he's like the American Poulter.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe Reed. So you don't not like him because of the way he is, but you can imagine like the Americans really like him because of what he does at the Ryder Cup. And the same with the Europe really like what Ian Poulter does at the Ryder Cup, or did. That's over
Okay.
now. But yeah, it's just Patrick Cantlay. It's just, I mean, you could kind of see it at TGL. Like there's not a lot of personality to the guy. And I get that they're not being paid to be personalities, but when you're when you're doing that, it's a different thing. And he just looked like he's completely uninterested. I thought it was a really funny moment. I don't know if you saw it, where like the commentators basically could could ask them questions. They had little earpieces on, and they asked him a question, and he gave like a one-word answer, and the commentator went, "Good chat." And like most people would be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," like you know, and he just sort of went like this. And it's like, oh, you know.
Random curveball question. Why aren't you allowed to ground your club in a sand bunker thing?
Do you know what? I don't actually know the full answer to that. I do it, obviously without even, just through love of the game. Let's find out. Let's find out. What do you th what I tell you, why do you think it is?
I mean, I presume they're trying to stop you having some sort of advantage, but I'm trying to think what that advantage would be.
I'd imagine it's because of the fact that the play it as it lies rule. So if you were to almost create I mean, technically you could create almost like a little, you know, what do we call a holdout section behind the ball, so you can make sure you're getting club head behind the ball to throw it up in the air. Um, I'd imagine that would be part of the reason. Let's have a look. Why can't you ground your club in a bunker? Yeah, yeah, it's to do with testing the surface,
Okay.
basically. Um, yeah, you must not deliberately touch the sand with your hand, club, or rake to test the condition before making a stroke. It's not even your hand. It could influence how you play your shot. Play it as it lies.
Play as it lies.
There it is.
Okay. And then at the putting green earlier today, there was a gentleman there using, do they call it a broom handle? The long,
Yes.
right? And I saw something recently about a guy on the tour, or whatever, who had, you're not allowed to anchor it, are you?
No.
So the end of the club cannot touch your body.
Yes.
Why?
Because it would make putting so much easier. Putting, basically, the idea of putting is that you're rotating your chest, right? And you're rotating your shoulders. That's the best putting stroke. So it wouldn't be handsy, despite how we all putt slightly differently. The perfect putting stroke would be with your shoulders and with a rotation. So you'd keep your arms still and it would all be done through rotation. Now, broomstick putters, long putters, whatever people want to call them, they make that easier because essentially your hands are way further up, so you can't putt like this. So you have to use your chest and your shoulders to putt. But if you ground it into your chest, it then makes it so easy that it's barely even the same sort of sport when it comes to putting.
Okay.
That was basically the research that was done into it because there was a huge sort of like group of guys, I think like Adam Scott, Bernard Langer still does it. I don't care what anyone says, he still does it. And he cheated Tiger and Charlie out of a tournament with his very clear sort of anchoring of the putter, but is what it is. Um, and yeah, so essentially you're taking the skill a little bit out of putting by anchoring it into your chest. So yeah, there has to be a gap
Cool.
between the top of the putter handle
Have
and
you ever
your
tried
chest.
one?
No, I've never tried one, no.
No, I've not either.
I think it'd be one of those things where the adaptation to it would probably take a good amount of time because of how you've been used. But I reckon once you get the hang of it, it probably is beneficial to most people's putting stroke. But I'm a strong believer in you look back in history and look at who the best putters in golf were, and they all had traditional grips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
there's
think it
something
can
to
be
be said for
beaten.
that.
But I think that's a natural thing as well. You're either a brilliant green reader, brilliant pace putter, or you're not. So then if you're not, how do you make marginal gains? And marginal gains probably come from, using the new technology and everything like that. I'm not a great putter, um, but I use the runner golf putter now. Came second in my golf spy this year for new putters, and the technology that's in that just gave me a huge amount of confidence with the putter. You know,
Yeah, I saw that at Rodway. To be fair, you went from a very average putter to a bit of a threat on the green.
yeah, it just felt like I could hold everything. Which is like huge for
So, So what are
basically.
your goals for 25 then? So you've obviously set a new personal best, which I'd imagine you want to better. I think you did that with a triple, is that right? Triple
Yeah,
goal?
the triple on scorecard. Yeah, so I'd like to do better than that. I think my first goals are to do with the podcast really, just to make sure I deliver a podcast every single week when it comes to because this is part of my golf life essentially. That's why I created this podcast. I wanted it to be a slice of golf in what essentially is probably going to be a golfless week for a lot of people. You know, they want to play golf, but they don't have the time to do it. So part of my golf goals for this year are this podcast, making sure that I can deliver new guests, people I want to talk to. Now, that's not every week going to be like big names in the world of golf. Like this week, I want to chat to my mate Phil about golf. So that's what we're going to do. And if you enjoy it like I do, then great. If not, there might be something for you next week, you know, and that's, but just being regular and delivering a good quality podcast every single week and seeing where that goes is my first goal for the year mainly. I think my second goal for the year is to um just play some courses that I'm really interested in playing. So a lot of my goals aren't necessarily score based, and perhaps that's because I did what I set out to do this year a little bit. Like there is that. It was a very simple goal. I just wanted to break 80. I've done it, so that's cool. But to play golf courses that are different, that offer different challenges, you know, some higher sort of tier golf courses as well would be great.
Have you got
And to
any in
take,
mind?
yeah, I'd really like to play. Well, I want to play Manning's Heath again. I've done that already this year, which was a real joy to play. That's a beautiful golf course, tournament golf course, championship golf course, brilliant. Crowborough Beacon is in the top 100. Would love to play there. Um, would also like to go to Rye as well. Rye looks a stunning golf course. Not easy to get a tee time there though. Um, yeah, those sort of that sort of level of golf course, and of course, just my frequent the Seaford Head because I love that golf course, and I know a lot of you guys do as well. Um, and then yeah, just to enjoy it as much as I possibly can. Like you know, as much as we put emphasis on scores and on how we played and everything like that, I think you got to come away from it realizing that it is a hobby, and that like all hobbies, you need to find joy in it. You know, and as much as we say like, oh, we love golf, like all golfers know that comes with like a lot of struggles as well. Like all sports that you decide you want to try and get as good as you can at. There's going to be the times where it's like, didn't really enjoy that today, you know, because you're trying to get better. But if I can just come away from like pretty much as many rounds of golf as possible this year and just go, that was great fun though. Like Manning's Heath, I played awful at Manning's Heath, but I came away from it and went, do you know what, like that was a great experience. And it was like beautiful weather. What a great way to spend an afternoon, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably one of the big goals really, and get to watch some golf as well, like in person as well. That's one of the things I'd like to do. I haven't done that yet. I'm yet to attend a tournament of any kind. I'd love to do that. Yeah, just get there and see some golfers close up and personal, and to learn a little bit from that as well, that experience.
Yeah,
Um,
if you do get the opportunity to attend a live event, please let me know because I also have never. I've had the opportunity to go to Wentworth. The last chance I had, and we had the tickets and everything to go, and the Queen died, so they they cancelled the Friday
yeah,
or Saturday or whatever
I
it
remember that.
was.
Yeah,
It was
I remember you were going to
terrible
be going to
timing.
that.
But yeah, I've never been to a live golf before. I'd like to experience that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just yeah, just one of those things where, and I know a lot of people say that actually it's kind of better watching at home, like for like a viewing experience. But more of the atmosphere around it. I feel like golf's like quite a bit of a boom at the moment when it comes to personalities and everything like that. And it'd be really good to yeah to just get up close and sort of personal with them as much as
I
I possibly
loved
can.
the episode with the chap who had gone to the Masters.
Yeah,
Um,
Dave Clank. Yeah.
oh, I loved that. I loved that episode because you could just listening to him here. It was like fairy tale stuff. And
Mm,
I know that's obviously even less
Disneyland
likely
for
for,
golfers.
yeah. But hey, the next best thing would just be a live bit of golf, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah. Masters is a long-term goal. It's like a that's like a 10-year goal, you know. And if we can generate a bit more sort of like behind the podcast and stuff, and it eventually leads to some doors opening, then that'd be really good. And take the listeners along for the ride would be amazing as well. But yeah, that's just generally where I'm at, really. Just that
Good, mate. Well,
those sort of ideas.
I love listening every Tuesday. I always look forward to it, mate. And you've had some great guests on before. They've been influential, like I say, with Crank. Oh, and a shout out to the eyewear.
Yeah,
The
WMP
sun-
eyewear.
oh, mate, the sunglasses. Honestly, I live in those things now, in at work, socially, everything. They're beautiful, those sunglasses. So I do appreciate them.
No, yeah, absolutely. Anyone go and check them out. WMP eyewear. They do some amazing sunglasses because I think our friend Ben, who's obviously podcast listeners will remember from early on in the podcast, he described them as like, I can see better in these. Like everything's just better.
Yeah,
Like I know it's slightly tinted, but it's also clearer, and it's 100% true.
yeah. It felt like you were putting on prescription
Yeah,
glasses. It was an experience. So I'll give them that. That was pretty cool.
yeah, very, very, very cool. Yeah, I think there's a code for that as well. I think Birdie 10 will get you 10% off or something like that at WMP Eyewear. So go and check those guys out because they do some incredible, not just golf sunglasses, but they do like leisure sunglasses, aviator style. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool
If you
stuff.
want to be the
But
next Ben Griffin, was it Ben Griffin?
Ben Griffin, yeah, if you want to be the Griffinator,
The
you know,
Griffinator. Oh dear.
just the Griffinator. But just, if you start seeing floaters, do go and contact an eye doctor.
Your optometrist.
Yeah, yeah, that's it, optometrist. I just played it safe with eye doctor.
You did, yeah.
Go and see your eye man, and he'll take care of it.
He will.
But look, Phil, thank you very much for coming on. Um, I know that you've been itching to fight your corner, really, and I am sorry, for what a previous guest said about you and your golf swing. I want to take it on behalf of the Birdie Golf Club podcast and say that um, we are deeply moved and saddened by the events that happened on the Birdie Golf Club podcast on episode 5 or 4.
Mate,
But
it's water under the bridge. I
it
think
will
he
never
I
happen
think he
again.
got his chastisement at Rodway, didn't he? So
It did, but it will never happen again, and I'm so sorry for
don't
that.
worry.
But at the same time, your swing's weird.
It's weird. I'll take weird. I'll take weird. That's a fair
Um,
point you made, Chris.
well, I hope hope you enjoyed it. I hope everyone listening enjoyed this episode, and don't forget, go follow at Birdie Golf Club Podcast on Instagram. If you're enjoying the podcast, please, it means so much just to leave a 5-star review. We've got all sorts of countries involved with the podcast now. I think we're in 24 different countries. Um, could be VPNs, but I don't view it that way. I view it like I'm conquering the world with this podcast. So appreciate every single one of you listeners. I think it's 90% male, which doesn't come as a huge surprise, right, when it comes to golf. But the 10% females, we see you, and we thank you for listening as well. So without much further ado, Phil, thank you very much, and
It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me, David.
you're welcome, mate. We'll have you back on maybe towards the end of 25 when we discuss our year
Let's do that.
and further some more hypotheticals. Anyway,
Until then.
ciao, Bella.